What is going on, guys? MMA Island team, we got the fight picks, and we got Alan Jouban taking on Jared Gooden in the UFC 255 pay-per-view card. It's not the pay-per-view yet. We're in the prelims, but UFC 255 headlined by Figueiredo taking on Alex Perez, guy I interviewed actually. But we're not talking about this one again. Jouban coming back, man. Last time we saw him was against Dwight Grant at UFC 236. That feels like forever ago. I guess it's a year and 6 months?
Yeah,
Year and
we
6 months ago.
rarely see Jouban.
So, yeah, seeing Jouban again, man, and Gooden making his UFC debut. Who was Gooden supposed to fight? What happened with that?
He's had a lot of canceled fights. Dwight Grant he was supposed to fight Dwight Grant.
Oh, wow.
And he also put out Tim Means, but Daniel Rodriguez, who was also on this card, got that fight instead.
Well, hopefully we do see this one. I really do hope. Pass it on to Zach to start us off.
Alan Jouban is someone we don't get to see a whole lot, and it's a shame because he can put on some fun fights. His last fight with Dwight Grant, excluded because that fight sucked. But we know what we're going to get from Alan Jouban, and that's high output for the most part. This guy is a really, really good striker, and that's where this fight's going to stay because Jared Gooden relies on his power. He wants to knock you unconscious. That's what he wants to do in all of his fights. And Jouban, he kind of wants to control the long game. You know, he doesn't really look for finishes. He tries to wear you down with his volume, and that shows with his 4.85 significant strikes landed per minute with a 50% accuracy. And with this, he's been able to beat some pretty notable names in the UFC, namely beating newly ranked number 13, Bilal Muhammad. I mean, to be fair, this is Bilal Muhammad's UFC debut, but that's still a really good win to have on your resume, and also wins like Mike Perry and Ben Saunders. But, that's Ben Saunders, and I've said enough about Ben Saunders in the past. But I think that Jared Gooden, he's not fought enough competition to really prepare for what Alan Jouban brings. While he's probably fought people with the same style as Alan Jouban, he's never fought someone who's done it with the same effectiveness. And that's because Alan Jouban has really solid striking defense. Now, he is pretty hittable. I mean, he does eat a lot of shots, but a lot of his opponents are always throwing at him a lot, and he defends a lot. 61% striking defense. And if you know that that's really, really good, he's blocking over half of the strikes that people are throwing at him. And that tells you that he's fought some really high volume guys, and he tends to get into these fights that their strike counts get pretty, pretty high. So I'm going to pick Alan Jouban for this one. I just think that his volume is a little bit too good. I think his striking defense is too good. I think he can avoid the power punches of Jared Gooden, and I think that he can gas him out. I think that Gooden will slow down around the second half of the second round and into the third, and that's where Jouban's really going to take control. His volume is going to show, and he's going to win a decision.
Yeah, so so we wanted the decision train or the agreement train to keep going, and it doesn't here because I actually got Jared Gooden winning this one. Couple things. So Alan Jouban, why is I see
Jouban.
As you mentioned, we don't see him as often as we'd like to. And there's a couple reasons why I'm going with Gooden on this one. One of the reasons I think is pretty important is just because we haven't really seen Gooden, at least me personally, haven't seen him too much, just because this is his UFC debut. You're looking at a guy, so the last few losses that he's had, Bruno Oliveira, who we saw in Dana White Contender Series, get blasted by a guy who's 3-0, and Carlos Ulberg.
Carlos Ulberg.
So, yeah, it's interesting, man. I got to start watching Dana White Contender Series.
Yes, you do. Well, you can't. It's over.
Well, yeah, but it's switching to Tough now. Was this the last one?
No, this was just the season finale. It'll be back next summer.
Oh, geez, it's that long. Wow, I definitely should have watched it. Wow, but that sucks. Mm-hmm. But, so Oliveira actually just lost on Dana White Contender Series recently and is sitting at 8-2. You're looking at the guy before that 5-round fight, Michael Graves, sitting at 9-1 currently, and looks like he was on Tough. I guess so. I'm not caught up on the Tough thing, so let's chill out with the spoilers, please, everybody. I guess it's not spoilers that they've been out for so long, but I definitely got to recap them. I'm on season 18. But, so going into the fight, man, you mentioned a couple things. So talking about Jouban is that looking at the last few fights that he's had, Dwight Grant, you get a split decision lost. Dwight Grant, last time we saw him was against a guy who's on the card, Daniel Rodriguez, who is an absolute beast. And Dwight Grant rocked Daniel Rodriguez to start off the fight. And then Daniel Rodriguez comes back and knocks him out after that. So, and then you're looking at also getting losses to Nico Price, Gunnar Nelson, very, very good on the ground, ends up submitting him. Nico Price, very good striker, ends up knocking him out. And then you knock out a guy like Ben Saunders. It's really hard for me to pick a guy who you can't give those sort of wins without asterisks beside them. Because you're getting Ben Saunders past his prime 100%.
What about Perry and Muhammad, man? What?
And that's what I'm going to get into. So Perry is a kind of a guy who I think I will get a lot of hate for overrating. And I'm not going to get into my pick for tonight, but I'm trying not to talk about the guys who are on the cards tonight. It just so happens that we have to talk about them because they're fellow opponents as well. So Mike Perry, kind of a guy who I overrate just a little bit. And then you're looking at Bilal Muhammad. Obviously, Bilal Muhammad is a beast. I don't think I'll ever pick against him in the near future. Certainly with this fight upcoming. I won't give that away, though. And then you're looking at
Diego Lima.
And again, Bilal Muhammad, it was his UFC debut, and I think that's one thing that can kind of change the way people perform. It being your UFC debut, you kind of have jitters. They get those octagon jitters. And you're looking at after that against Alan Jouban, you're getting what is Bilal Muhammad after that? 8-2 with 2 losses coming to Jeff Neal and Vicente Luque. He's got wins against Lehman Good, who I think is awesome. Takashi Sato, who I think is awesome. Tim Means, who I think is awesome. Randy Brown, who's awesome. Bilal Muhammad is a real deal. Remember the name, fam. But again, we're not talking about him.
I still remember when you picked Lyman Good, though.
I like Lyman Good. That's why. But yeah, so this is the thing, man. I don't have enough faith for a guy who, again, has those wins with asterisks beside them. I can't say that word. And he's 37. That's another thing. Being knocked out 3 times, once in the last, 3 years. It's his 3 fights ago. So I think Jared Gooden's kind of antsy to get in there. And being the younger guy, being a guy who's riding kind of a finish train, I feel like this is a good one to pick. And it's kind of pretty high confidence, in my opinion. It's kind of crazy to be an underdog. I'm going with Jared Gooden on this one, and we got our first disagreement of the night. I gotta stop giving those away because you guys are probably checking out the fights backwards, but who knows? Point is, man, make sure you guys are letting us know what you think in the comments. We got a tie in this one, and you guys already know what that means. You got to break the tie in the comments. Make sure you guys are letting us know what you think in this one. Let us know in depth. I want to know in depth who you got them by, what's going to happen. Let us know the story before it actually happens. So make sure you guys are just letting us know what you think, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and make sure you guys check out the other Fight Pick videos.